Hey, welcome back, Bhikkhus. We're diving in a little bit deeper to the Buddhist vocabulary. A lot of these words, they're showing up in different paths, and this is just a one-stop video for the language and the translation and the importance of these words as we walk this Eightfold Path together. So, my intention is when you finish, I hope you are using these, you have them in your back pocket, they're part of your arsenal, and they're certainly part of your vocabulary as we dive deeper in the Buddhist teachings, Part 2, Buddha Vocab. Stay watching. Enjoy. So, as I did in the last video, A through Z, I'm just going to take you through the alphabet. So let's get right into work today. Buddhist Vocab Part 2. Let's start with Ahimsa. And I put up a beautiful slide, and here it is again. And when I first heard this word, Ahimsa, I thought the person was saying Ahimsa as in Ahimsa. Himsa actually means to strike or offend or hurt. And so Ahimsa is the opposite of that. And it truly is about being kind to yourself and, eating healthy, meditating, doing kind speech to others and to yourself. And it's really, Ahimsa practice means that you're cultivating good aspects out to yourself and to the world. So Ahimsa is the right pronunciation, and it's A. So let's move on. The second word is the aggregates, and these truly are the 5 aspects that Buddha said that these are what constitute a physical body, right? So we know that there are body, there are feelings, there are perceptions, it's our mental state, but it's also our consciousness. And when you have these 5 things, then you are a sentient being, right? And we all know what constitutes a sentient being is not to harm others and the rest of it. So let's move on. The 5 aggregates. You have to get through those to sit still with your body, right? Through our meditations. Let's keep going. The second one is avarice. This was a new word for me. I don't know if it was for you, but avarice is the absolute opposite of extreme generosity. So what would be the opposite of that? Avarice. And avarice truly is greed. But beyond that, it's like extreme greed. It's having so much money and wanting and needing more and holding on to it and assuming that everybody's going to take it. And it's that extreme that I'm talking about. Hoarding would be considered to be that too. The mental aspect of someone who hoards is that avarice. Okay, great word. Let's move on. Opposite of avarice, don't forget, more generosity in the world. Let's keep going. The B, Buddhism. There's an ISM in there, right? So Catechism, Hinduism, Catholicism, Judaism. I can go on and on. Anytime you hear the word ism, it probably refers to some type of a organized religion, right? With a god and so on. And so the translation of Buddhism really isn't fitting because what we know, right? We know that the teaching was really built and based on self and to diminish the suffering that we go through in having a physical body, right? So Buddha was not saying, do this, follow me like a god. He was saying, follow the teachings of the Dharma so you can be free of the suffering. So the fact that there's an ism in Buddhism really isn't a perfect translation. I'm sure there'll be some conversation online about that. That's my perception of the reading that I've done. So let's keep going. The next word we're looking at is B, is Bodhi, right? Buddha this is a tongue twister. Buddha sat underneath the Bodhi tree, which was the ficus tree, and he became enlightened, if you remember in the story. And so the word Bodhi truly does mean awake. Okay, let's keep going. We're on the B still for Bhikkhus. You've heard me say this. I refer to you as a Bhikkhu. We are Bhikkhus. We are the students of the path. And a lot of the sermons and the talks and the monks will refer to the Bhikkhus and as the students, and that's just another word for students of the path. And you've heard me say that for you. Let's keep going, Bhikkhus. The next word we have is, we're in the D's, and the divine abodes, which is the four Brahmaham, what was the word? 4 Brahmins, I think they're called. They are truly, you see the slide, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, right? So divine abodes is another word for that. Let's move on. The 4 perfect emotions, right? I'm in the E's now, and I'm going to do a little pause because this next word would have to be a 4-hour video in the Buddhist teachings, and it's the word emptiness. So we're going to do some more work on this in class, and it is like it sounds. It also, if you look it up in the Buddhist teachings and you try to go Buddhist teachings, emptiness, Google it, you'll end up seeing see not self, and if you go not self, you go back to emptiness. It is the whole teachings and discipline and understanding that we're not really here, this is all an illusion, we cause our own suffering, everything is changing, the impermanence. You've heard some of this language already in class, so more on that in class. Let's keep going. The next word is hungry ghost, and I have to take a little second to set this one up. This is considered to be one of the realms, and it didn't feel for me that even though it was a realm, it felt like it came more out of the Hinduism aspect of the karma and the reincarnation and coming back in the different realms. And it was translated from Japanese, Chinese, Asia, that they really have the parable a little bit more, although it is considered to be a realm. The hungry ghost is a realm, and it is the realm that's right before the hell realm. So if it sounds terrible, it is. A hungry ghost, let me set this up, tiny little pinhole mouths, big extended bellies, and it's the existence or the understanding that these people that are part of this realm who come here and have a physical body, they're so needy, but they're so needy to be needed. And they're so stuck and clinging to their attachments that they have and their negative thinking that they want everyone to suffer like them. So they typically attach themselves to positive people, and then they suck the life out of them. And I'm sure you have people you've worked with or you've met that have seemed like they surely must be in that realm in this experience, right? So we just send them a lot of love and kindness, right? But hungry ghost, let's move on. I'll do a little more on that in class. Okay. The next word would be mantra. Do you remember the class we started with when we all sang a mantra? And the mantra was aggregates, juga aggregates, and we sang that. And really, a mantra is that. It is the repetitive you repeat either the words or the syllables over and over and over again, and they're usually and always about love and about light and about freedom, and they're just to cultivate our mind. They're done in meditations, they're done in yoga practices. If you've ever taken Kundalini yoga, the noisy yoga, they use a lot of mantras in their practice. So, and we will too in our class. So mantra. Let's keep moving, definitely out of the Buddhist teaching. The next word that, I'm probably going to upset some people over is the actual word meditation. Yeah, we've heard it so often. It's everywhere. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry right now, your meditation practice. It would not have translated in Buddhist time as a word meditation. It has taken on that form today. The closest word for translation or back then would be cultivating the mind, cultivating the kindness, the awareness. It would be cultivating, not meditation. So, but it has through translation become that, and definitely connected to a lot of the Buddhist teachings. Okay, moving on. Metta. Metta is one of the 4 Brahmins, and it's also, I say Brahma, I gotta get the word. I will get it. I'm putting it up on a slide here. It's not at the tip of my tongue right now. It's one of the 4 divine abodes that you remember. And Metta is translated Sanskrit meaning loving kindness. Okay, moving on. The next word I have is the perfections, the 10 perfections. Love this slide. This is, remember from last video, it was the defilements, and those were the negative things and not to do in Buddhism, and the 10 perfections are the right things to do. They are loving kindness, they are compassion, they are morality, positive energy, renunciation, speaking the truth. I could go on and on. The slide will say it all, right? The 10 perfections. So the word is P for perfections. Let's keep going. The next word I have is T for 3. And there's 3 different names for these. They're either, you'll hear them in the teachings, you'll either hear them called the 3 refuge, which basically means shelter, or the 3 jewels, or the 3 treasures. And they all mean the same. They are the commitment or the saying, and you say them 3 times. I take refuge in, I take refuge in, and I'm going to break those down for you right now. So you take refuge in Buddha, which means I am like Buddha, I am no different, I am one and the same, we are the same, we all have the potentiality to become enlightened. So when we say taking refuge in Buddha, we're not seeing ourselves or him as separate from us, we're seeing us as being the same as Buddha, and that is the potentiality. The second jewel, treasure, or refuge that you would take is to the Dharma, and the Dharma literally means the teaching. So following the path, doing the principles and the disciplines that are attached, the 5 precepts, taking a vow to those, and so on, right? As we've uncovered in this class. So when we say take refuge in the Dharma, it means we're giving ourselves to the teachings from Buddha. Okay, and then the last one is to take refuge, treasure, or the jewel to the Sangha. And what is the Sangha? It is our community, right? So we're giving ourselves to the community, and we're connecting, and we're aware, and we're open to recognizing that we're part of a better sum of ourselves, right? When we're connected to our community. So those are the 3 jewels, again, refuge or treasures, also known. So let's keep going. A couple more words, stay with me. One of the last words is Vipassana. And Vipassana, you'll hear quite often. We will absolutely do a Vipassana meditation before we finish taking this course. And it is the closest connection, and the chain of teachers have been straight from Buddha. So as one person dies and the next teacher and guru steps forward, the training and the discipline has not changed. It is heavily controlled or not controlled, or it's specific, and there's not a lot of translation or changing as time has gone on, as we've seen in many religions, right? So the Vipassana training truly does mean to see things as they actually are, and it's steps in cultivating awareness to ourself and how things are really being seen. But a lot of the teachings, and like I said, the chain of teachers are still teaching this, and it's really intense. So we will touch it in our class, making sure I have everything. It is a strict code of discipline. Okay, that's the best way I can give that to you. And I'm going to end with an acronym, which is not from me, it's from one of our teachers. And I say "our" because if you look anything up online, or if you've read any books on meditation or mindfulness or forgiveness, then you have run into these 2 authors, and they've authored a book together. I've had this in my library for years, one of the best books out there, and it is Joseph Goldstein and Jack Kornfield. And if you don't have any of their books, please get their books. They literally, I believe, are the reason that we have so much information and so much awareness, and that there's such a following today. They have made it relatable, and they've made it certainly part of our times today. They give great examples. You can follow them both on YouTube, as I do, and our teachers. So we'll call them our teachers today. And I'm going to end with the teacher, Jack Kornfield, gives a great acronym And it's really about the mind, and it's about Buddhism, and it's all connected to this work. So let's end with it. It's called RAIN. And what RAIN means is to recognize the emotion or the thought or the thing. And A would be to acknowledge it, to not push it away, but just go, ooh, where is this coming from? And then the I would stand for investigating or insight into it, okay? And that means really just going, why is that showing up right now? What is my connection to that? Why am I feeling that way? Is that fear or is that love? Diving in deep, right? And then the last one is recognizing we're not connected to it. Non-identifying is the way he defines this. And then it takes us back to the emptiness and not self, right? So back to that word that entitles a whole class. Okay, so I'm going to end with that. And I just love, this one video probably took me a month to put together. I do a couple words a day and dive in as deep as I can to give you the briefest explanation as to what these words are so that you can learn with me as we walk this path together. So this is Jeannie clicking out. A couple more paths to go, and I know I say it, I can never say it enough though. It's changed my life. I find myself more emotional, more aware, more in the moment. I mean, it's just heightened every aspect of my life taking this class with you and teaching this class, and forever changed my new vibration. This is Jeannie Lynch signing off. Like, subscribe, share. The more the merrier. Really, wouldn't it be great if we could change the world one video at a time together? Thanks. This is Jeannie. Have a great day. Namaste.